It's Dev Online for the 297, everybody. Day 297 of your favorite YouTube series. Tell your friends. First card of the day is Sporeback Troll from Dissension. Only ever printed in Dissension. I imagine that's because it's pretty bad. This is it's because it has Graft. They never really touched that ability again. 4 mana, 3 and a green for a 0/0 Troll Mutant. You can pay 1 and a green and regenerate a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. Oh my goodness. But this has Graft too as well. When it comes into play, it comes into play with 2 +1/+1 counters. Whenever another creature comes into play, you can move one of these counters from this creature onto that creature. Okay, so 20 total cents for this. It actually has a kind of relevant line of text on it. Paying 2 mana to regenerate any creature with a +1/+1 counter is almost okay. Cost you a total of 6 mana to play it and then use it, and that is too much. That's just a bit too much, but altogether, once you untap with it and play, being able to protect basically any creature in your deck if you build your deck the way you want to, is not terrible. So I kind of can't bring myself to say this is that bad. 3.9. The first 3.9 of the week, if memory serves. This is, I don't know, I could support it. I wouldn't want it to like move in with me, but I could support it in other ways. You know what I mean? I could send it, toilet paper, paper towels, maybe some ramen noodles every couple of weeks. Like there are ways that you can support. Chainflinger is up next. This is from Odyssey and only Odyssey. This is 4 mana, 3 and a red for a 2/2 beast. You can pay 2 mana, 1 and a red, and tap it to have it deal 1 damage to a creature or a player. Okay. It has threshold as well, though. So if you have 7 or more cards in your yard, you can pay 3 mana, 2 and a red, tap Chainflinger to have him deal, get this, 2 damage to a creature or a player. This is a common. It's because it costs 4 mana. 4 mana is probably too much for this, especially if you're going to gate the activated ability behind more mana. Like, so much mana to do this. But eventually being able to tap it for 2 damage to a creature is kind of neat. But even then, you're tying up like so much mana. You're tying up so much mana. This is a trap. It's a trap. Trap that I like. This is a 3.8. I'm fooled by this slightly less. So we'll roll for another good one today. It's Zodiac Monkey from Portal 3 Kingdoms. This was reprinted in 9th edition. So I guess there's that. But even if you want the 9th edition one, it's $1. Is this card okay? From Portal 3 Kingdoms, it's $6.50, but that's because it's Portal 3 Kingdoms, and everything from that set costs a lot. 2 mana, 1 and a green for a monkey with Forest Walk. It's a 2/1. I guess there aren't a whole lot of like monkeys in Magic as far as creature type go. I think there's a couple, but there's not a lot. It has Forest Walk. I guess it's a 2 mana 2/1 Forest Walk. This card's bad though. Why is it $1 from 9th edition? How come? God, what do you give this? It's like a 2.1. I like Forest Walk. I actually do. No, Bog Imp. Bog Imp was a 1.5. This is a 1.8. It's pretty bad. I mean, it just is kind of bad. I don't get it. Next is Slayer's Stronghold from Abyssin Restored. This has been reprinted a few times. Still about, you can get it from Final Fantasy Commander for 15 cents. This is a land. You can tap it and add 1 to your mana pool. Or you can pay a red and a white and tap it to have a creature get +2/+0 and gain vigilance and haste until end of turn. What a land for Boros decks. Does every single Boros deck have to play this? I mean, I was going to say only the aggressive ones, but like, come on, it's Boros. It's like literally 97 out of 100 Boros decks are probably at least a little bit aggressive. I have been building a Quintorius deck that like the whole idea behind it is to make like cards leave your graveyard so that you get 3/2 spirits. And even that, like, it's not that aggressive, but you're still going to be attacking with a bunch of 3/2 spirits, if you do everything correctly. So this just goes in everything, doesn't it? I'm going to give this a 6.5. I really like stuff like this. Kessig Wolf Run and other stuff, which I believe is also from the same block. I will always love every day of my life. So we'll move on to Mana War. Originally printed in Portal, in case you needed to know. Well, no. Okay, this makes more sense. Originally Visions. Probably around the same time, if I had to guess. In 1996, 1997. Oh, okay. But anyway, yeah, this was a banger back in the day and still goes in a bunch of old school cubes and just cubes in general, I imagine. Beautiful art, by the way, by John J. Muth here. 3 mana, 2 and a blue for a 2/2 jellyfish. When it comes into play, return a creature to its owner's hand. It can be one of your guys. Most likely, it's going to be one of their guys. This was back in my day. This was a feared card. This taught us what tempo meant. An entire generation, you know. Do you really want to go first, by the way? Do you want to play your 3-drop into a Man of War, or would you rather play your 2-drop into a Man of War, right? Is how this works some of the time. But either way, Man of War was frightful. Just a very, very, very good creature back in the day, especially when fewer creatures had entered the battlefield triggers. So you could hit one of their guys and be confident in the idea, right? That, you know, they weren't going to get some massive effect again when they played it again. This is also back in the day when, like, you know, Dark Ritual was like a thing in Standard. Like, we had more stuff in Standard where you get like a flash of mana that you won't have access to on later turns. So if somebody went like Dark Ritual, 5-drop creature, Man of War would help clear that up real fast, you know? So that's always fun. Man of War has a special place in Magic history, and it gets the honorary 5, ladies and gentlemen. There is no more honorary 5 card than this. We'll hit one in a second, I'm sure, now that I've said that, but this is what honorary 5s are for. Love Man of War, man. Next is Snow Day. Snow Day from Strixhaven School of Mages. 6 mana, 4 and double blue for an instant. Tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. Draw 2, discard a card. This is too expensive. I need 6 eggs. That's too expensive, is how that song goes. And they're right. You don't want to. It's not very good. 2.85 in that neighborhood with all the other 2.85s. There's a deadly riposte up next from the Brothers' War. Somehow it's already been reprinted a few times since then. 2 mana, 1 and a white for an instant that deals 3 damage to a tapped creature, and you gain 2 life. I like it. I do. I'm not going to score it super highly, but like in life gain decks, I like this as a removal spell. Usually finds a target and can kill something. I don't hate it. I really don't. Excuse me. Let's just give it a 3. Right at. I love it. Next is Goblin Firestarter from Portal Second Age. And only ever that set ever. It still costs you 60 cents, probably because of that fact. A single red mana for a Goblin. Sacrifice this creature. It deals 1 damage to any target. Activate only during your turn before attackers are declared. So it's kind of a Mog Fanatic. Right? Like, it's just Mog Fanatic. Kind of. Because you can sacrifice Mog Fanatic. You know, back in the day, you could stack damage. Like, while damage was on the stack, do a thing. And that Mog Fanatic was incredible during that time period. Got a lot worse afterwards. But, you know, this is just a worse version of that. But I still think it's cute. I will give this a 2.6. No. I gave that other card a 2.8. Yeah, 2.8. I'll give it a 2.8 again. It's a day full of 2.8s. Next is Magus Lucea Kane from Warhammer. This is $2 to get right now, about $1.70. And it's pretty cool too. Magus is 4 mana, 1 and Temur colors, green, blue, red for a 1/1 legendary human tyrannid wizard with spiritual leader. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Psychic Stimulus is tapped to add 2 colorless mana. When you next cast a spell with X in its mana cost or activate an ability with X in its mana cost this turn, its activation cost this turn, copy that spell or ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. So sick, right? A Temur thing that allows you to ramp into things with X in their cost, which there's a lot of in Temur, you know, like there's fireballs in red, there's huge dudes in green, there's card draw spells in blue. Your mind can go wild with the X spells you can play in this. Also, like that it just kind of like gives you a Luminarch Aspirant. The spiritual leader ability is just Luminarch Aspirant. That's proven to be pretty decent in the past, but this also might let you get tricky with, you know, things with X in their activation costs, like Go-Go from Final Fantasy is a good example. That copies abilities, and now you can copy Go-Go's ability to copy even more. I mean, it's crazy, right? So, again, your mind run wild with some of the stuff you can do with this card in Commander. But mostly you just want to play X dudes with it, you know, copy my fireballs, copy my hydras and stuff. That seems fun. So, the fun brew around Commander, you know, extra score, sort of, the extra points you get for being all of those things is kind of rearing its ugly head here, because I'm not sure that this is really going to be worth what I'm scoring it here, but I'm going to give this a 5.5. Again, I want to brew around it. Looks good in the command zone, does multiple things, but the problem is at the end of the day, I'm not sure how great either one of those things actually are. You know, a 4-mana dork that ramps twice is just okay. It's kind of normal. And, you know, the Luminarch Aspirant ability is just kind of normal too. So I don't know how much it's going to be great as a commander, but it's still something you do kind of want to brew around. Copying spells, like copying a huge creature like a Hydroid Krasis, is amazing. And you get, just to clear things up, you get whatever X is in the copy. Like if I play a Hydroid Krasis or a Goose Mother, X equals, 10, then I will get, the copy will also be X equals 10. So yeah, dude, this is a fun looking one. There's a fun looking one, but I'm going to stick a 5.5 on it and move on to what I believe is the final card of the week, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we'll do a bonus one to bookend the week. Titania's Chosen from Urza's Saga, and a couple of commander products after that. 3 mana, 2 and a green for a 1/1 elf. Whenever a player successfully casts a green spell, Titania's Chosen gets a +1/+1 counter. Pretty good. Not bad at all. Cost a lot for a 1/1, but if even one other player is on green, it gets pretty big pretty quickly. If you're the only one on green, it's kind of worse, but you're mono green, you're playing a lot of spells, you're playing creature, draw a card off Beast Whisper, creature, draw a card off Beast Whisper, draw cards off Harmonize, Greater Good, Shamanic Revelation or whatever it's called. There's a million ways to draw cards in green. And, play another spell, creature, especially in elves. We're just making a bunch of mana, dumping your hand onto the table. Then suddenly, Chosen is, an 8/8, 12/12. So it's a neat card that I'm going to give a 4.85 to. I think that it's really close, but, this is another one where even if it gets really big, it's vanilla. It doesn't do anything besides be really big. So how good can it be, really? There's ways. There's ways to make it fun. But bonus card, what's it going to be? It's Indoraptor, the perfect hybrid. There's not a normal looking version of this card. Interesting. So this is 1 and a red and then a Golgari hybrid. So 3 total mana. It's Jund colors for a 3/1 legendary dinosaur mutant with Bloodthirst X. This creature enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, X being the damage you have dealt to your opponents this turn. It also has Menace. It also has Enrage. Whenever it's dealt damage, not whenever it does do damage, whenever it takes damage, choose an opponent at random. Indoraptor deals damage equal to its power to that player unless they sacrifice a non-token creature. So you want to give this indestructible somehow, or just increase its toughness. If that's how you'd rather do it, that's fine. Or if you just want to cast it 4 times from the command zone in the game, I guess you could do that too. You use fight effects or whatever. But you mostly want to take advantage of the Enrage. It is really just cool to have a commander with Enrage. That's neat. You build your deck around Enrage, and there's a lot of fun ways to do that. It has Menace, so it does have to be double blocked. That's kind of interesting. And it might get huge. Maybe that's the way you do it, is you get in for 5 damage on an opponent, and you drop this, and it's, 7/6 or whatever at that point. And that's not bad, because now it's dealing like 7 damage to somebody unless they sacrifice a non-token creature. So that's pretty good for a total of 3 mana, if you can set up the Bloodthirst correctly, but that might be easier said than done. This is $12.50 right now, probably because it's just only available in Jurassic World Collection. But it's still good, as far as like Jund commanders go. It's a really neat one to build around. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with it. It's easy to get Bloodthirst in Jund, because especially if you've got red, you can deal damage to people. So, by the way, it has to be damage dealt, not the life they've lost. That's a different thing. Interestingly, damage causes loss of life, but loss of life is not the same thing as damage. So remember that when you're factoring in Bloodthirst, but I don't think it would be too hard. I really don't, to get this down as like an 8 power guy. And then he can go to work. Like he can actually go to work on that. So I like him. What do you give this? I'm going to throw a 6.4 on Indoraptor. I'm really interested in this. I think that this could be a really good build around. And unlike, the last card we looked at, the Teamer Commander, I worry that despite the fact that it copies spells, I worry that there's just not enough there to really make a good commander. Although it could be a really fun one. This one looks like it could be good, actually quite good, because it can take damage multiple times in a turn. you know, at which point its ability is just popping off like crazy. So I don't know. I feel like this could be fantastic, like actually very powerful and annoying. So, you know, yeah, 6.4. We'll put that on it, and we'll end the week with this dinosaur. Good way to do it, right? The way Magic the Gathering is in the year 2025. We'll end on a Jurassic Park card this week, but maybe I'll see you next week. Just maybe. If you wish hard enough, I'll be there. I'll see you in your dreams. I love y'all. Bye.